Ladies and gentlemen, I am Aaron Nix. Welcome back to Free the Phoenix. And as you can see, it is time for the Architect of Destruction to make his presence felt here at Phoenix Pro Wrestling. Our first ever steel cage show, the first ever steel cage wrestling event in the history of the Isle of Wight. Phoenix Pro Wrestling. It seems making history every single show as they blossom into the franchise, the wrestling company that the Isle of Wight deserves. But this man doesn't care about any kind of history, doesn't care about any kind of legacy that isn't his own. He's looking very closely at this steel cage because, ladies and gentlemen, this is not just one simple matchup. This is a grudge match. This is a blood rivalry that has blossomed through years of multiple promotions and competitive nature. The bad blood has boiled over. The Architect of Destruction, Neero, has had enough of the retro dude Rudi Root, and he looks to dismantle that legacy here today at Barton Cross School. He is ready. Neero enters the cage first in what will be a one-on-one matchup to determine a new number one contender for Kelly Six's Phoenix Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. An ominous and symbolic entrance for the Architect of Destruction. Neero hates Rudi Root. It runs through his core. All the darkness. Neero, despite his incredibly disgraceful actions, frankly, as of late, picking up a vicious and somewhat ironic victory over Rudi Root in a six-man tag in Pool Hall Brawl last time out of Maximum Break, our 18+ event.
In this number one contenders match for the championship, ladies, right in the ring, put your hands together.
Well, we know who his opponent is. The talk is over. It is time for action, and you can see, look at her face, the darkness, the evil that consumes the Architect of Destruction, and everything about that. The antithesis of that very individual's personality is brought forth by the retro dude Rudi Root. From darkness into the light comes the Isle of Wight's favourite son, Rudi Root. In many people's estimation, the most exciting and biggest standout in terms of professional wrestling the Isle of Wight has ever produced, particularly as far as the men are concerned. Shout out to our lovely friend Lunatrix, of course, who will be watching on with a keen eye. Good friends, of course, with Rudi Root. Frankly, the entire locker room will be fascinated by this affair. Rudi Root versus Neero inside a steel cage. One-on-one, number one contendership. Here comes the retro dude, Rudi Root. All that energy, all that colour, all that vibrance. Like I said, the antithesis of Neero. Rudi Root stands atop the ropes in this steel cage, just eyeballing Neero. Sean McKenzie is going to have a hell of a time. Look out! Shotgun start here for Rudi Root, who is not wasting any time. The ultimate blood rival, the villain to his hero in this story throughout his entire wrestling career. Beautiful side effect jawbreaker there. Unique, innovative offense for the retro dude Rudi Root. Referee Sean McKenzie in charge of this one-on-one contest. As I've said, steel cage match, no disqualification. Rudi looking for the pendulum elbow from the offset. A real hot start for the retro dude. One of these men is going to be the number one contender to either Kelly Six or Alexander Roth as champion, and we're going to find out later on today who is going to leave this steel cage as the Phoenix Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion. But right now it's all about the number one contendership. Rudi Root, oh man, and now just sent flush into the cage. Dare I say, a little bit too eager, a little bit too keen, not as calculated in his approach. Cannot afford to be emotional at all. Man, did you just see what Neero did there? Rudi's left leg was bearing the weight of his body, and Neero drove his boot right into the side of that knee. Could have caused immeasurable damage. Oh, look out, I think, oh man, there's the game plan. Pretty obvious what's going on here. Looking to take out the wheel of Rudi Root is the architect of destruction. And he certainly has done just that. That dragon screw off the ropes, and Rudi already favouring his left leg immeasurably. That is not going to help him at a steel cage match, and he meets the steel cage flush, courtesy of Neero. Neero has had enough of Rudi Root. This rivalry has been relentless. But there you go, that says it all. There's malice in the eyes of the architect of destruction. Pinfall attempt. Standard cage rules, of course, you can win by either escaping the cage or by pinfall or submission. No disqualifications, as we mentioned. Everything is legal. Sean McKenzie is simply there to make the call as to who will be the winner in this contest. Well, this crowd here at Barton School are trying desperately to will Rudi Root back into the fight. Meanwhile, it has to be said, a bit of a 50-50 split here. A lot of fans cheering for Neero. It seems that despite his disgusting demeanour, his attitude, as you can see right there, no love lost for Rudi Root, but a lot of people seem to sympathise with that. And then Uranagi catches Rudi Root flush and sends him driven to the floor. Pinfall attempt, 2 count only. In the build up to this, we have heard so much over the past few months. Ever since Phoenix began, Neero has made it very clear that with this opportunity to be at the forefront of Phoenix Pro Wrestling, he is going to dismantle the retro to Rudi Root. Old habits die hard. Shockingly dangerous right hand from Rudi Root there. Favouring that again, favouring that leg, but still somehow able to get Neero up on his shoulders, but Neero cowers and sends Rudi Root into the cage. I'm wondering if that leg, struggling to bear weight, might have made it slightly more difficult for him. Kick to the midsection by Neero. Clothesline, Rudi escapes, and very smart, whether you like it or not, going back to that damaged wheel, that low center of gravity with that drop kick right into the kneecap of Rudi Root. Neero once again isolating that knee and just driving it into the steel cage. Nothing fancy about that, and a face plant off of that clutch. Rudi Root just smashed into the floor, his knee, his face, everything. Taking a lot of damage, bearing the brunt of that force. 2 count only again. Already it's very clear to see Neero has the game plan. There's a reason he's called an architect. It's not just a fancy moniker. So calculated is his need to dismantle and destroy the retro dude Rudi Root. By the way, his entire family are here, sat front row to witness this matchup, a very important match in the legacy of the retro dude, looking to become number one contender. He's made it very clear that all he wants, his dream, is to be the Phoenix Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion. He thought he had it. Both of these men thought they had it. They were in the main event of the first ever show. And it was Kelly 6 who overcame both of them to become the first champion. Since then, there has been only one goal in mind for each man. For Rudi Root is to be the champion. For Neero, it is to dismantle Rudi Root on the way to being champion. It is Neero who made this thing so viciously personal. This crowd. Neero is not endearing himself to this audience unexpectedly. Vicious Irish whip and a sling blade. Rudi somehow managed to muster an astonishing amount of energy, just exploded out of the corner. And now both men on their feet, warily, and it looks like Rudi Root has had it. Oh, now Neero put the brakes on once again. And Rudi Root sent flush into the steel cage by Neero. Once again, Neero takes full control of this matchup. Pinfall attempt, referee Sean McKenzie, 2 count only, he says. Extremely ominous here today. There has been a lot of talk, as I mentioned, and Neero with some extremely volatile language in the direction of Rudi Root, as you would have seen at Maximum Break especially. And now, lovely power slam, inverted, rather unique offense. Everything that Neero does is so unique, so different to your run-of-the-mill professional wrestler. That's what brought him to the dance. He's looking to utilize that innovative offense to dismantle Rudi Root, as I've mentioned so many times ad nauseum. But this rivalry is ingrained. It really is the rivalry that, dare I say, Phoenix is being built on as we speak. Kenny Six, no doubt, will be keeping a watchful eye on this matchup, despite the fact that he is about to defend his Phoenix Pro Wrestling Championship against the Wolf of Broad Street, Alexander Roth, later on this afternoon. And look at that power, beautiful gut-wrench-esque power bomb, pinning combination, and Rudi Root shoots his shoulder off the canvas. And Rudi looked to be completely out of it there, but as is quite often the case with a retro dude, able to summon energy from absolutely nowhere, drawing upon the energy of the Phoenix Pro Wrestling audience. And this crowd really is coming alive for Rudi Root. But can he respond? Right now, it certainly doesn't seem that way. Now, nothing fancy about it. It's just stamping on that bad knee. And now just lifting it up. And again, more torque, more damage, more maiming of the left leg of Rudi Root. That knee is really going through it as we speak. And Neero, to his credit, the game plan has paid extreme dividends. Pretty much after that early flurry of offense, it has been all architect of destruction. And now once again, Tree of Woe has Rudi Root's left leg wrapped up on the ropes. Sean McKenzie checking for a submission, of course, because as it is no disqualification, essentially Rudi Root could give up, he could submit on the ropes, and it's all legal. Looks like Neero might be looking to utilize his more aerial offense. We've seen the incredible athleticism, by the way, of this man on display as he comes off, rolls through. From coming off the top rope, gets caught with a back elbow. Now Rudi Root looks to build momentum. Lovely flying forearm there, catches Neero flush. And now, oh man, I'll tell you what, Rudi Root's just exploded into life out of nowhere, almost like a video game character, and he's just absolutely laying waste to Neero here. Barton Primary School has not seen a spectacle of this kind in his many years operating in education. And I tell you what, speaking of an education, Rudi Root looking to educate the architect of destruction here on his way to becoming number one contender, but he's still got it all to do. Neero able to escape. Rudi Root transitions into an Olympic slam. Obviously a huge fan of Kurt Angle, an homage to the great man himself, and a 2 count only. Neero gets the shoulder up, and once again, Rudi Root close. And yet so far, how many times does it feel like Rudi Root has been this close to becoming the Phoenix Pro Wrestling Champion, or at least getting close to the opportunity to become said champion? If he wins this matchup, he will have an opportunity. Oh no, Neero catches him with a Uranagi out of the corner. Beautiful slam. Takes Rudi Root right back down to the canvas. All of that energy, all of that emotion, building that offense. And now Neero looking to ascend to the top rope. and cause ultimate destruction at the hands. Oh no, wait a minute, Rudi Root, I think he was aware of that, maybe might have been playing possum. Scales onto the second rope, now looking to try and drag. I think he's trying to overhead belly to belly suplex Neero off the top, and oh no, Neero has got his hand round the throat of Rudi Root and just shoves him right back down. Oh man, bad collision. Rudi Root laid out beneath the Architect of Destruction. Neero is atop the ropes here inside this steel cage. Look out, 450, oh my god, 450 coup de grace right to the bad knee. A vicious and calculated, targeted assassination of the kneecap. That's exactly what he's done there. That should be enough, but somehow Rudi Root is able to kick out. Once again, covering Rudi. Neero can't believe that was not a free count. An absolutely stunning 450 coup de grace right onto the bad wheel of Rudi Root, and if it wasn't damaged before, it sure as hell is now. All that body weight comes crashing down flush from such a great height, and I think Neero has recognised that the damage may be done. He may not have got the pivot. Meanwhile, Rudi Root somehow able to just scale the cage despite, oh no, what are you thinking? Trying to German suplex Neero off the top rope. That is going to cause immeasurable damage. Think about what you're doing here. Waistlock is still applied by Rudi. He's not letting go. And Neero with back elbows trying to escape. Oh, he's able to escape out the bottom. The bottom fell out for Rudi Root there. Kicks Neero away, and now coming off the top. Oh man, moonsault. High risk, no reward. And there is the ripcord knee. The Devil's Trigger has been applied by the Architect of Destruction. Rudi doesn't have a clue where he is. Bless his soul. One of the kindest individuals you'll ever meet in professional wrestling. One of the most professional young men you could ever hope to meet. And meanwhile, Neero is going to escape the cage. He's already got one leg out. Neero is almost out of the cage. And Rudi Root summoning whatever energy he has left, desperately trying to drag Neero back into the cage. You can win this match by escaping the cage. You don't have to pin or submit your opponent to win. It is your discretion. Headbutt applied, and now, oh look out, Rudi right back up, scales there. Oh my god, overhead, belly to belly, straight over the top. Neero comes crashing back down to the canvas. Both men down. Sean McKenzie beginning a count. We hope that these men can answer the count, because ultimately a double count out does not suit either man, frankly. I mean, it would suit Kelly Six, however, or indeed Alexander Roth, should he be successful in beating Kelly Six later on this afternoon, because it would mean no number one contender in place. But I'm sure Alexander Roth would welcome the opportunity to face either man. Such is the game combatant that he is. Kelly Six, on the other hand, will take absolutely any shortcut he can get. I can tell you that for a matter of fact, without even having to coerce with a man. And now Rudi Root is up to his feet, and I think potentially looking to escape here. Rudi scaling the cage once again. It's worth pointing out as well, it's not easy to scale a steel cage, a structure like this. It's not like somebody just hands you a ladder. And meanwhile, Rudi almost escapes, and you saw that hand from the Architect of Destruction. Neero just reach out and grab Rudi like a claw from the gates of hell. And now, oh my god, this is a very dangerous position to be in. Both men scaling this cage. The animosity, the anxiety builds with both men atop this cage. I think Neero, oh no, and Rudi just like fight or flight, just sends Neero's head off of the cage. And meanwhile, Neero's out, and Rudi is climbing down the other side. Rudi Root is just moments away from becoming number one contender, and he is the new number one contender. Rudi Root has achieved the unthinkable here. He has vanquished Neero and has become the number one contender to the Phoenix Pro Heavyweight Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new number one contender, Rudi Root.
Well, for what it's worth, on this day, and you can see how crestfallen Neero is, this rivalry I don't think is over by any means, but Rudi Root has finally vanquished Neero for the first time here in Phoenix Pro Wrestling, and that means that Neero has to regroup, and it's that man right there, your new number one contender, who will get a shot. But what is next for the architect of destruction?